All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Jaron Ennis, Showtime, and the PBC, and a deal that has been struck that will give us a lot more of Ennis and hopefully get him to a fight with Errol Spence Jr. or Terrence Crawford. Let's do that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Really good news in the welterweight division, and that is that Jaron Boots Ennis has gotten a big offer and accepted it from Showtime Sports, which will put him and lock him in pretty much to doing PBC fights and hopefully get a big world championship fight coming soon. But before I get into that, the specifics of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a subscriber to the channel and a supporter, a regular supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. Also, make sure that if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Your support is greatly appreciated. And also, if you do wager on sports, please support over there at BUSR at busr.ag/Fanon, and you will get promotional values to add benefits to your wagering dollar. So let's get into this. Jaron Boots Ennis is one of the top young prospects in boxing, and he has locked himself into a multi-fight deal directly with Showtime Sports, with Steven Espinoza, for at least 3 fights this year. I'm not sure if it says 3 fights this year. Not sure if it's going to continue on for fights next year, but that is a real big deal. They are locking in that young man who is one of the top young guys in boxing. There are other really good fighters in that weight class, a lot of really good fighters in that weight class at 147 pounds, but I don't think that there's anybody that is a bigger catch for Showtime than Jaron Ennis is, and it really does put him in a position, right, to be marketed and pushed as the next really big star in sports. And the reason that I say that is because there is somebody else that Steven Espinoza and Showtime signed to a multi-fight deal at a point in time in their career, and it led to really big things for him. And that was a multi-fight deal with Floyd Mayweather Jr. When Floyd Mayweather Jr. lost Showtime, left HBO. They wind up giving him like a $200 million deal at the time for I think it was 6 fights for like $200 million, something like that. Now, clearly this is, well, I'm not saying clearly, I don't know. I doubt very highly though that it is that level of a commitment that Showtime expressed to Jaron Ennis, but it does put Jaron Ennis in a position where he has got a home network that is going to be looking actively to grow him as a fighter. And I do believe that is going to put him in a situation where he is going to get championship fights because the money is there and the financial backing is there for him. Now, obviously, this is also going to mean that he is going to be fighting on PBC cards because Showtime has a 4-year contract with the PBC for their fighters in boxing. So when this contract is up, hopefully, Jaron Ennis will re-sign, but it looks like he's going to be consistently fighting on PBC cards. Now, the guy that more than likely is going to be the promoter for those fights is going to be TGB Promotions. I'm not sure whether or not this guy, what is the name? It's not Gary Shaw. Please forgive me, but it's a former guy that used to work for, who was his actual promoter. It's not Gary Shaw. The name is skipping me. Please forgive me, but it was a guy. Cameron Duncan is the name that I'm looking for. His promoter is Cameron Duncan. So Cameron Duncan and he will probably be fighting in association with Tom Brown or TGB Promotions, and they can make those fights. Now, this will open up a lot of different avenues. It opens up an avenue to pretty much all of the belts at 154 pounds because everybody at 154 pounds is fighting for the PBC, and everybody other than Terrence Crawford is fighting with the PBC. So this is pretty much going to be him, man. But Virgil Ortiz, the other guys that are kind of hanging out there are guys like Virgil Ortiz, who's with Golden Boy. This, for me, catapults Jaron Ennis beyond beyond Jaron Ennis as far as the amount of financial backing and support that he's going to have to make his career, to make his career go. I'm excited about it, man. Really, really excited about it. What I'd be interested in seeing, though, now that Showtime made this move, is if whether or not they have that type of visibility and they could think that about some other fighters where they could guarantee some money to get big fights for them as well, who are in that division. It seems like, Showtime has a lot of money, and that they are going, because they've been investing in money consistently, investing money in their boxing program consistently for years. Of all of the major networks that are involved with it, I do believe Showtime has been involved with it the longest at a high level. Of course, ESPN has been involved with it for a long time as well, but they were more through fits and bursts. Not really. I would never say that ESPN is really featuring it. Right now, DAZN is really featuring it. HBO, Showtime is really featuring it. HBO is out of boxing. So anyway, it's just a really good deal. I'm hoping maybe that they can also sign maybe Terrence Crawford directly to Showtime and offer Terrence Crawford a deal with Showtime, man. And that could maybe lead to a fight happening with Jaron Ennis and Terrence Crawford at Showtime. Big news for me, man. But it's also a little bit interesting because it's not the way that networks have really been doing it a lot. So other than what like DAZN was doing when they were locking fighters into their young fighters into multi-fight contracts, like they did with Devin Haney, like they did with Tevin Farmer, they've done with Golden Boy, with Virgil Ortiz and those guys, right, where they did that with them and they're signing them directly to the network. This is a little bit different for Showtime, signing them directly to the network. I don't know if anybody else is signed directly to the network. Gervonta Davis is fighting primarily over there on Showtime, but I don't think he's actually signed to Showtime. And so therefore the PBC is actually able to move him from Showtime to Showtime to Fox, depending on what the scenario is. Same thing with Errol Spence Jr. Same thing with all of those most of those other guys, like Deontay Wilder, right? Deontay Wilder was fighting on Showtime for a long time, and then he went to Fox for his last couple fights with Tyson Fury. Maybe this is a way, where Steven Espinoza is saying, look, man, on some of these big guys, I probably need to just invest the money straight up in them and connect them to the network so that the PBC can't take them or he can't get outbid and move to other networks, right? But this is a big thing for Jaron Ennis, man. So anybody thinking that Jaron Ennis is just a fly-by-night guy that is not going to get the support of, and get the championship opportunities, I think that has gone out the window. And I've said that for a while, man, that really the biggest thing that Jaron Ennis has is a commitment from Showtime. And the fact that he has a network that is really willing to stand behind him and sees him as the next big star. And that is as powerful as having a promoter, especially when the promoter has to go to the network in order to get the money to support the fight. So big deal for Jaron Ennis. Congratulations, Jaron Ennis, Boozy Ennis and all that. The financial details of it, have no clue, have not been reported, but I'm sure, that he's going to get a nice paycheck. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.